3. This half term we're going to be focusing on 3D work. Making a 3D form out of clay. Now I know some of you have already done this if you're in school, but it's not going to be quite the same. We're going to make it a little bit different. Don't panic if you're at home, because if you don't have clay, which is unlikely at home, even though you could buy air drying clay from the works or from Hobbycraft, but if you haven't got any air drying clay, then you can use salt dough. So if you go to Google and you type in a simple salt dough recipe, then a really good one will come up. The link is on the screen for you so that you can type that in if you want to, but it's the same thing, just type it into Google. The thing we need to do is to create a clay slab. Now, whether you've got your salt dough or whether you've got clay, you need to have a ball of it first. We need to squeeze it together and make it into a nice round ball before we roll it out. Perhaps you might want to squish your ball a little bit, making it a bit flatter before you start to roll it. So in the picture here, there are some sticks. You don't need to use sticks, but they are there so that when someone's rolling out their clay, it is an even thickness all the way across. But we can still try to do that without sticks. All you need is a piece of paper on your table underneath your clay or your salt dough, because otherwise your slab will stick to the table. Let's see how it's done. So now that we've rolled out our slab, we need to start making some patterns in our slab. We can cut the edge, the bottom edge straight, just the bottom edge, using a ruler or anything else, like the edge of just something straight, like a chopping board maybe, to make a flat edge. And then we're going to use clay tools if you're in school. If not, we can use pasta. If we're at home, penny pasta is really good for a nice shape on the end. We could also use tubular pasta, which makes a nice circle. We can use candle holders or anything pointy to make little holes. We can use knives and forks. When I say knives, I mean butter knives, nice safe ones that enable us to slice through the clay without hurting ourselves. We are going to create some natural patterns. So what I want you to do is to think about plant-like images. We could also experiment with making some holes right through the clay. I'm going to show you how to do that in a minute, but just have a look at this picture to give us an idea. So we can see some flower-like images there. So you can see how pasta is used to make those images, but we can do whatever we want. Let's have a look. Made our slab form, here's mine, we can decide what kind of edge we want around the sides and around the top. Are you someone who likes straight lines? Are you someone who likes organic wiggly lines? I think for me, I tend to prefer the slightly more natural and wiggly type lines, but if you like straight lines, that's absolutely fine. So, or some of you might even like zigzaggy lines. So I'll show you what I mean. We have a choice as to how we shape our edges. Now that we've made our clay slab and we've decided what shape we wanted on the top edges and the side edges, we now need to shape it so that it's going to be in its 3D form, the way we want it to be, so that it can dry and harden. We want it to be in a cylindrical shape. So if you have an empty kitchen roll tube or a toilet roll tube, that would be fantastic. If you don't have something like that, you could use a glass or a cup, and I'll show you how we're going to mould it round it. Then we'll leave it to dry and we will paint it next week.